This is National Safe Boating Week. It's intended to raise awareness about potential hazards around boating as we head into the busy Memorial Day weekend, the unofficial start of summer and the boating season. Last year, there were 52 reportable boating accidents on Illinois waterways, resulting in 6 deaths and 40 injuries. That's according to data compiled by the Illinois Conservation Police. And joining us now from the Illinois Conservation Police to talk about boating safety is Captain Joshua Mooi. Good morning, Captain. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
All right, as we head into this summer boating season, as temperatures start to warm up, what are the main precautions you want people to keep in mind when they're out there on the water to have fun and keep it that way?
Well, one of the most important things is obviously this is, Safe Boating Week, so we want people to go out and be safe on those boats. One of the best ways to do that for adults or kids is to wear a life jacket, especially anytime that you're out on the lake. Wear a life jacket. 9 times out of 10, if something does happen, that's going to be your best case for survival to avoid, injury or possible drowning. One of the other things that we stress really heavily, especially throughout the summer months, is sober operation. Have a sober operator, have a designated driver for your boat. It's very easy to have a little bit too much. One thing that you have on the boat that you don't have any other times that you might be partaking in alcohol is the sun, the wind, exhaustion, a lot of dehydration. So there's a lot of precautions that you can take that can help us if there is an issue out on the water, and something that can help us get to you faster, or something that can help protect yourselves, your friends and family on the boat, and then the other boating public.
Of those 6 boating deaths in Illinois from last year that we just talked about, 4 were the result of people not wearing life vests. So that underscores what you're saying, the importance of having on a life vest. It's a reason it's called life vest, it's trying to save your life. But of those 6 deaths and fatalities on the water, none involved alcohol or drug intoxication. So, and overall, the 52 accidents that was lower than the past 3 or 4 years. What do you attribute that to?
So the recent legislation with requiring boat safety certificates, increased boating safety courses, there's a lot, the barrier to entry to recreational boating is a lot lower, but a lot more businesses and companies are actually implementing better safety courses and better safety training for their recreational operators. So I think that, along with the public and private partnerships that we have to stress things, and outreach events like Safe Boating Week and NASBLA's Dry Water Weekend, a lot of those things help to contribute to that increase in safety and that reduction in accidents.
So here in Chicago in the Midwest, we have a small window to truly enjoy Lake Michigan, the Chicago River, other waterways around the Chicago area in the state of Illinois. But that leads to a lot of congestion out there on the water, as a lot of folks want to take advantage of those expensive boats that they have and get out there on the boats and the pontoons. But what kind of challenges does that present for having so many boats in such a small space on the water?
The increase in the boating population does make it a little difficult, not only for regular recreational boating traffic, but when you're looking at things like the Chicago River, where we have the commercial traffic. Not only do we have the barges, but we have the tour boats, we have the rental boats, things like the tiki boats and all the stuff down there on the Chicago Riverwalk. There's a lot of opportunity to end up in a very small space with a large amount of boats. And then when you throw in things like the Chicago fireworks and people trying to get in and out of the Chicago Lock, we end up with a lot more people in a very small area. And that increases the potential for accidents, not only because of, maybe inexperienced operation, but also, weather concerns with waves and wind, decreased visibility if a storm kicks up, or if it's dark out. So there's a lot of things that could impact that. And one of the most important things that we can stress, besides the life jacket and the sober operation, is you're on a boat, you're supposed to be relaxing and having a great time. You should not be in a hurry to go anywhere.
All right, Captain Joshua Mooi with the Illinois Conservation Police. Just like on the roads, on the waterways, safety first and stay sober. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Absolutely.